think about you when I'm making a mistake.
Welcome back to my shop. In this week's project we're going to turn this small trunk of a midget cypress. What can I tell you about this wood other than that it's quite light for its size? So I know it's not very dense as the fibers go, and it feels softish to me when I touch the pieces of the end grain. Okay, so let's mark the centers and mount it on the lathe.
I went down to Chicago. I didn't know where else to go. I was paid to shoot a man. I just shot him and then I ran. I didn't even get the money I owed. I turned around and took to the road. I've been wandering to and fro and made my way to Chicago. I see the fire of the barrel and bullets fly like an arrow. I see the trouble in the poor man's eyes. I see his soul take to the skies.
Sit in a get with you, baby, tonight. I don't wanna love, I don't wanna fight.
As I was finishing yesterday to hollow out this tool, which is done by the way, and it is the wall thickness around this part is about 1 centimeter, and in this part it's a little bit thicker. And the reason for leaving it this thick is because I've decided that I want to try something new also with this project, and something that I've been wanting to do for a long time but was always scared to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve a spiral from this tool, and the problem I faced was that my lathe doesn't have a spindle stop and it doesn't have indexing. So I know there are some professional solutions for that problem, but obviously you can make your own. So what I did here is actually everything I've set up for this indexing task I did in about an hour work, from printing the template and cutting the MDF circle and making the mechanism to lock it and everything, and I'll go over it very quickly now, and maybe someday I'll make something even better, and I'll make a video out of it. But I'll just explain it in very general terms right now. What I did is I printed out some templates for the size and the divisions of 24, 36, which can be obviously divided into larger sections in different intervals, and I've cut it out. One of the templates that I made with 14 segments on it. I cut out a circle of MDF, a thin MDF. It's about 3/4 of a centimeter thick, and I drilled a hole in the center of it that corresponds roughly to the size of my spindle, using a Forstner bit, and then I threaded it through the spindle all the way to the back and remounted the chuck in front of it. So basically I have a plate here with my markings, and from this part let's move to the platform and the locking mechanism. So I have another camera set up to take a view from below here. Okay, so as you can see now from the other camera, is that what I've done is I've mounted on my tool rest my serpentine tool rest head. It's a Sorby tool rest, and I clamped to the serpentine a board, so this gives me a level surface, because I know the tool rest is level. So it's a good strong hold and it's not moving anywhere. So that's this part of the mechanism. Okay, so this is the stopping mechanism, and also obviously my mark for stopping it. And this is just a piece of another MDF that I've cut to the right height to mark the center of my spindle. More or less, it doesn't have to be very accurate, because what makes the difference is the interval and not the actual position. And it is clamped to the bed of my lathe with a bar clamp, simple bar clamp, and they're slightly touching, so I can slide it freely. And then if I want to stop it, I just put a small clamp that will grab hold to the disc and this piece of marker MDF, and this basically locks it into place. So I already marked, as you can see, most of the lines here. So let me put it back in my last position and we'll talk about how I mark it. Let me reset everything up. As you can see, I'm stopped at a certain position, marked on the wheel, and using a pencil propped against this board, I simply draw a line around the shape, and this is already done. So let me switch this one position, like so, and I'm taking the pencil and simply keeping it flush against the board. I will mark this around. There we go. I sure hope this is going to work, because I've never done this before, and for something that is experimental, that's a lot of work put into it. The next stage would be to mark the horizontal lines. These were the vertical lines, and now we'll draw the horizontal lines that will help us define our curves. Okay, so as you can see, I've marked with tape my lines, and now using a saw I'm scoring along the line, and later I will take off the tape and I will be able to deepen the cuts even more. So for example, we'll take this tape here, and right now it's, as you can see, it moves freely, but at some point I'll block it to help me cut better, and I just score along the tape line. And actually at this point I can already take off the tape, and I will have my spiral all marked out. I hope you can see it well with the lighting here.
I don't wanna have to tell you all the things I know. I don't wanna stay, but I don't wanna go.
As you can see, I'm wearing my jacket here today because it is freezing here. As you can see, some time passed and I've been doing a little bit of work here. And now, after I've done a couple of the flutes, I feel confident I can show you the method that I've settled on at this point in the project. Because while you were away, while the camera was off, I experimented with different things in order to carve out the flutes. So some of them were a small chisel set that I have, a very cheap small chisel set, which actually worked quite nicely with the V-shaped chisel if it was kept sharp constantly, but it was difficult to keep it sharp constantly because it's a terrible tool, a terrible quality tool. I've also tried a few small files, round ones and triangular ones, and that worked out okay, but I wasn't convinced. As you can see, each one of the flutes was a different test of carving out. So this, for example, was done with the V-shaped chisel, like so, slowly and very slowly and very not accurate. And I also tried this out with my Dremel with different bits on it, and it simply didn't work. So I just couldn't have enough control. This is one of the tests with the Dremel. I really didn't enjoy doing that. And then what I did try more was taking a couple of bigger wood chisels and sharpen them really well. Those are also very cheap tools, but as long as you keep them sharp, they will keep cutting. And I'm using a metal file because the cut is more controllable and less destructive. And sandpaper, obviously, and the saw. So what I did after I've defined each of the flutes with the saw and giving it the first initial depth, what I need to do is widen the channel that I created. Now, the most important part for me was to try and keep the depth of the flutes at the same way. And okay, I'm a little distracted. So I've started with a depth here, and then after I've seen that I've like depth of channel here in the thicker part, and the way it tapers up to a smaller one, I try to replicate the same depth here, and I think it went quite nice. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but the curves are really nice. So I'm going to repeat the same process I did for these two on this one. So obviously I've started out by carving out the channel with the saw along the tape as we've seen. Okay, and then since I wanted to go deeper here on the wider shoulder, then I'll just continue sawing until I get to my desired depth. I think that for now this is okay, so obviously I can make it deeper later when I start carving it. So I also found that the stop here using the clamp is really effective in stopping it. So for the shallow parts I'm going to use the narrower chisel, and for the wider parts the wide chisel. So I'm going to start from somewhere in the middle. Why? I don't know. It just strikes me as the thing to do.
Person in your heart. I don't want to stop, and I don't want to stop. Part-time lover, how we suffer now. Time. I don't want to say that everything will be fine. I don't want to feel your tears on my skin.